right, man. I'm glad to have you back. There's a few things I would like to discuss with you about. Okay? We got a few topics. We're going to discuss about Big U, the incarceration of Big U on the RICO charge and the murder charge they're trying to put on him.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about the sudden death in the situation around the death of young Scooter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right. So, Big U. You know about Big U, right? You've heard about Big U?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I done seen the interviews and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So, what's your whole thoughts of Big U, period, from what you know of him?
Hell, I even heard that, and this is something that Tiny, who plays Devo, himself said he was basing that character. That character was based off of Big U. Because his reputation, of being just so vicious goes back to like the 80s and shit. So, yeah.
You heard about the situation about the whole RICO charge, and then the state is trying to charge him with a murder.
It's like some murders. I think it's more than one. I think it's a couple murders.
Couple. I just know
some trafficking involved.
I heard
extortion. That's the one he mainly known for.
He's known for
extortion.
You seen a viral video of Chris Brown?
That's why people think that's one of the reasons why he allegedly greenlit Nip is because when Nip brought DJ Khaled to the hood to the 60s, right? And Nip was somebody that people would go to, like if you want to check in with somebody but not do that extortion bullshit that they be doing over there.
Yeah.
If you just trying to come through and build with the artists over there and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
They got into it. Him and them got into it because like, oh, you ain't making. He's supposed to check in, and dude was like, hey, who is you to check in with? And da 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 da. Yeah, they notorious for that.
So you saying you think Big U setting him up?
I'm gonna say I ain't gonna say certain like I was there and shit like that, but I'm gonna say it's the only thing that really makes perfect sense. Like perfect sense.
Okay. What do you think about the whole Eric Holder situation? If Big U, how did that line up? Because if Eric Holder did that,
well, who allowed him to? Because people make it sound like he just some crazy lone gunman that just went off script from what the set was about to do. Like he just went off on his own and went against them to do that. Like somebody high up ain't order him to go do that. Okay. Like stuff in that hood. And just even other parts of LA, it's understood that stuff don't just go down without certain people okaying it or knowing about it. So for something like that to happen in their hood, right?
That sounds more like premeditation, though.
Absolutely. First degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder, then.
But it said that dude reacted to Nip behind the whole snitch comment.
According to Cowboy, who was there, he was inside, but he was there. That Nip ain't never called that man a snitch. And then by people trying to push that false narrative like White 100, doing some bullshit. Because that's just like some slick way for dude to like get off on like an insanity defense. Because that's considered one of the worst things you could be called, and that somebody will flip if they're not that and they're being called that because it's like a death sentence. So saying that somebody called that Nip called him that, and if he didn't, is falsely trying to justify his murder by one of his own. So
okay, but honestly,
I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't even trust that. I think that was just him trying to justify some bullshit that somebody told him to do that he knew was morally wrong.
Right. Now he's caught up in a murder situation. It said that a rapper or something that was signed to him or something dissed him for some reason, and they're allegedly saying that's the reason why he was murdered. But the DNA they said that was under that person's fingernails was inconclusive to being Big U's DNA. I think a guy that was with Big U, his DNA or something was found at the crime scene. But I don't know how strong that case might be against him on the murder. But
there's so many cases regarding him just off murder, just off conspiracy to commit murder alone. That like they gonna get you on at least. It's like, dude, they gonna get you on at least one of these. Even if you get away with all the other ones, they gonna get you on at least one case of conspiracy to commit murder. Like guaranteed, they gonna get you on one of those. They gonna get you on some cases of extortion.
What do you think about someone that age? Because he's almost 60. I think he's like 58.
Yeah, I think he's 69. I think he's
close to 60.
Yeah, he around there.
What do you think about someone that age still pushing a certain narrative, is still known for having people quote unquote check in or extort people at that age, and still, because you would think someone that age or representing they start to slow down and they start to
do something more productive, more positive.
Yeah. Now, because he'll still have those things where he gives back to the community, but he kind of contradicts with the whole narrative of the whole.
The give back to the community thing is like, it seems like that's largely just like a cover for people to overlook all the grimy shit that he does to people. Because people can be like, yeah, he's, like grimy is gangsters or whatever, he's doing this, that, and the third, but he gives back to his community, and
What do you think makes people follow his quote unquote order, his lead, his word, even at that age? Because
I mean, he must have some sort of leadership skills. Plus, I mean, he scared the shit out of people. So I mean, that definitely his reputation.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like older than most of the people who living that type life. His reputation is older than most of them.
Okay.
Like his shit go back to the 80s, so he like about 40 years.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked that,
really probably like probably a little bit more, because them dudes be getting put on as like teenagers and shit.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked that is because you start to notice, like, all right, in that type of culture, people follow certain people's lead off of reputation. You feel what I'm saying? But in today's, like, it's more like, all right, you did this in the past. What have you done as of yet? Basically saying, hey, you put in work before, but it's like, it's been a minute. I don't know what type of work Big U done put in.
Allegedly, he done recently been, he's still,
because I have
terrorizing people or something.
Okay. All right, so you think that's what made people follow this 60-year-old man is because he's still
the type of person who has the power to extort people, both like not just individually, but like also other people on what he's on, and them being organized, and they knowing when these celebrities or other important high-profile people touch down in LA. like I heard about how like they got like active members, like even active members or people who not like far off from having put in work or whatever. Like they at the airport, like they working at the airport. They know when you touch down to LAX, and they make a call if you stop by like certain stores or restaurants. They working there.
Okay.
So they can just make a call, such and such, high profile person, and then they just be moving on people.
So I've heard two different definitions of what checking in is supposed to be. One is the extortion for protection.
That's the main one that comes to mind.
And then there's the whole, okay, I'm not from here. I'm gonna use me as an example. Being from Louisiana, let's say I travel to California. I've heard a different type of checking in would be like I'd call some people that I know that I'm cool with that's out there. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
That you know how motherfuckers do. They make sure you good while you out there.
Right. You call them and then they call some other people and put the other people in their hood know that you coming.
Because you don't know. Like, let's say, all right, I've been to California before, but I've only, let's say,
been in the tourist spots.
All right, but like, let's say I've been there before, but it's been a minute since I've been there, so you don't know what shit that went on since I've been there. Like, who done got into it with who and this and that. You gotta, make sure you know what's going on around you. And I done heard shit where motherfuckers be like, shit, motherfuckers make sure they have clean weapons and stuff for protection, this and that, on some street shit. We're not talking hiring security. We're talking about this whole
still protection outside of the law.
Yeah. So that's another type of checking in I've heard, just to make sure, hey.
Oh yeah, the weapon one is a big thing. You
can't fly it with guns.
That's a big thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Plus, even California, even if somebody was not able to get it over, it's just like we got real self-defense laws, and we ain't got to do all this extra BS to try to justify why we did this or did that.
It's different now. So.
Yeah, it's different. We don't even play that.
Nah, but I was just
So so it's just like they straight gun laws and all this other stuff. They probably got to look for ways to go outside the,
as a civilian, you could go in, but I'm talking this. Alright, I'm either person that's known in the streetwise, or shit, I'm a multi-million-dollar entertainer, and you feel what I'm saying? And I would want street protection.
I mean, there's multi-millionaires who from that, but they gonna lean on that because they were that first. So,
yeah, but bro, he's been jammed up. Big U's been jammed up on a 40, it's like a RICO charge, and they charge him with like 42 different charges, like all these gang charges. Then you got even failure.
Gang enhancement means that every charge, stuff that outside of a RICO wouldn't have carried as much time, will automatically each charge be like at least 5 years. So some small stuff that could have just been like 5. It got to be 5.
Yeah,
just because it's a RICO.
Yeah,
just because gang enhancement.
Yeah, racketeering, all that type of stuff, government. I done heard, even just failure to file taxes and shit like that. Just all type of shit. They hitting them with everything they can hit them with.
Yeah, ain't that somehow gangsters? They stay getting got with the file taxes, even if they get caught on almost nothing else. It is something to do with taxes. they just like, wait a minute, this ain't even adding up.
So, question: Do you feel sorry for the youth?
No, of course not.
Why?
I'm sure some people who he terrorized, the people that who are no longer physically here, but not that. I'm guaranteed that they spirits ain't feeling bad for this news. So.
Okay.
I don't even hate dude. I don't know the dude, but I know they ain't feeling bad for him.
And do you think he'll make it out this situation? Do you think the murder will stick? I don't know. I don't think the murder will stick. But that Rico,
he's not about to do no small time. And plus, at that age, time that's like significant but not the biggest time will still be like may as well be the biggest time. Like them 10 years may as well be 20 to life. If he were to, let's say they just gave him like because remember, conspiracy to commit murder, it'd be at least 5. But that, remember.
At the bare minimum.
Plus, let's say they just get them on, they drop most of the extortion cases. They get them on this one, they say, hey, we're going to get you on something, at least one of these. Conspiracy to commit murder, one of those, one count of that, and let's say one count of the extortion, right? Because the gang enhancement got to be at least 5 years. So let's say 10 years, right? So what did he do?
You think you'll get about 10 years?
That's like best case scenario. I think is how that's looking like. That's best case scenario. I reckon he gonna like die or be like get out right when he about to die. Cause he already about 60, so it's just kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, you're in the back.
But let's say he lived at 80, then it's like okay, they let him out at like 70 and he's due to 10. Okay, it's not gonna get no better than that. That's the best case.
Right. He's in the back half of his career. Maybe not career,
his
life.
Yeah.
So 10, 20 years, anything like that. That's just call that a wrap, man.